Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Saute, prepping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no before I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, dipping slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish or key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. DA are feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like no prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the cold magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
All right.
Yeah. Yo. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. Yo, bringing forth light through the dark. That's the first thing that Drew Ali taught. You're a divine being, can't be sold, no be bought. Like a stock, all caps like a corporation. You're a star off the charts from the constellations. This is serious, B. You gotta save a nation, no procrastination. Pick up the GS and Tashtariko teachers. Knowledge itself, not paperwork, gon' free us. Rahu Nefer, I'm in the real metal, little purist. And a email bait, one of the truest to ever do this. Middle finger to you conscious fucks that turn Judas. Criminal minded, took a lifetime to cure this. The lies of my eye, that's what the wisdom of the womb is. The wisdom of the womb is what the ultimate truth is. Chorus watching your actions, don't care who you this. Maneka is peace, Islam like a Buddhist.
10 lies, 5 principles to eliminate the flaws. Align the individual. This is effect of the cause. Complex but so simple. Take a pause, take in the instrumental. Things coincide, nothing coincidental. No mistakes, nothing accidental. Occupy the space, we call it the temple. Open up the safe, give them what's essential. If they violate, fingernails and the dentals ain't leaving no trace. Elements are fundamentals. Apply the law of attraction. What you do has an opposite or equal reaction. The end set, plans ain't shit without actions.
10 laws of a 5 principles. These articles, squarely I'm standing, laws can't triple. 7 articles, that's it, man. A dumb don't get it, the sun gon' set, gon' be a big bang. I'm more beautiful, that's a good thing. God has a trust, y'all want a buck? Call for some red shoes, y'all want a blessed fool with a hoodwink. Make your skin cherry leather, trying to be something you can never. Black's dead necro, I'm a full of life spectrum. Whistleblower, loud of planet, death before dishonor. You're not a man, you an iguana. Who said we're not in Africa? Look up, Gondwana. But dunce wanna cuss, let them go on, y'all. Learn your unalienables. Tell you more, but it's unbelievable.
We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible.
Principles, get your conduct straight, crocodile back. Divine law violators won't give a smile back, much less a nod. When I hail up, they screw face up. So dent like Harvey has their 2 faces up. Trust less, cause trust more is left for worthy. No principles but justice, Furthermore, that's dirty. Planes correspond from matter to energy. Swimming in the sub-realms for mental and spirit affinity. Vibrate and cause light and heat magneticity. From the lower mind to the higher mind, breast simplicity. The rules, the capacity for pain and pleasure is so balanced. You can cause an imbalance. Never, you're taking chances on rappers. I'm moving law and order. Outside and independent of all is chaos, disorder. Cause the root of everything that happens or doesn't. Denying effect means the law is repugnant. Elevation stunted, even drunk or blunted. Will have you misdirected by the false pundits. Trying to hit a grand slam when you should have bunted. Spiritual abundance keeps demons dungeon.
That spooky shit's not mystical. The boogeyman you fear is invisible. The cookie that you smoke's not original. The pussy said the stroking is minuscule. The God in the flesh, indivisible. For now, that's why it's called individual. Can't divide the two, and this God's a criminal. Y'all devout, but I'm cynical. Invincible among bare minimals. Maximizing 10 laws, 5 principles. That's the guy that comes with no shittable, no fucks. Facts around facts, centrifugal. Mass reach a critical. Peeling the pineal, back reach the pinnacle. Sealing the deal with no ceiling, no flow. While I ridicule the charming snakes that limit you and christen you.
We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. Initiation, meditate, divine rituals. We live by 10 laws, 5 principles. One nation, one God, indivisible.
Northgate, H2O flow, Sheik, Canaanland, Moorish, Release fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house, check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate. Referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a feet on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. No Westmoreland to Portmore. Everybody needs more. We feel please more. Following apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more. We more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they wanna wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil little a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. I'll keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mix it with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets told me upright, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Sorbet, prepping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but Ali in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death, dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. Won't let go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the pro-magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book, all maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
The next we have is the nationality, the order of the day, the divine message and warning. All Garveyites, Rastafarians, Black nationalists, and Pan-Africans. Written by our brother Grand Sheikh Kudjo Awa El, up there in Canaanland, misnomered as Canada. Amazing book again. And this one is published by Khalifa Media, L, up there in Canaanland, misnomered as Canada. And check out some of his lectures, video series. You spell his name Jose, Jose, last name or last part of the appellation, Pimenta-Bay, B-E-Y. And it's a PhD brother as well. Very well put together book. Give thanks. Much love. The next we have is the nationality, the order of the day, the divine message and warning. All Garveyites, Rastafarians, Black nationalists, and Pan-Africans. Written by our brother Grand Sheikh Kudjo Awal El, up there in Canaanland, misnomered as Canada. Amazing book again. And this one is published by Khalifa Media. Khalifa Media. Check us out. Check that out. Just the Khalifa Media Canaanland edition. The brother as well. Very well put together book. Give thanks. Much love. The next we have is the nationality, the order of the day, the divine message and warning. All Garveyites, Rastafarians, Black nationalists, and Pan-Africans. Written by our brother Grand Sheikh Kudjo Awal El, up there in Canaanland, misnomered as Canada. Amazing book again. And this one is published by Khalifa Media. Khalifa Media. Check us out. Check that out. Just the Khalifa Media Canaanland edition. And you can go to khalifamedia.com. That is CALIFA media.com. And in this book, amazing information as well. It has biography and descriptions about Marcus Mosiah Garvey, influential members of the UNIA. It speaks about Haile Selassie, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, Ethiopian Islam, and I'm Moorish scientific standards, the Moors of the Northwest, Moors in the Nation of Islam. And for myself, I'm just going to read a piece they have in here of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It is on page 40. And it reads, "With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites. And if you want to look for further information on that, look into the book of Ruth, which is in the Bible. And you can see the lineage, the amazing lineage, King David, Jesus, Joshua, Isa. It's all right there. But let me continue. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. And this is Act 6 of the Constitution and Bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Another excerpt reads, "If you have race pride and love your race, join the Moorish Science Temple of America and become a part of this divine movement. Then you will have the power to redeem your race, because you will know who you are and who your forefathers were. Because where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand, divided we fall." And lastly, "Come, good people, because I, the prophet, sent to redeem this nation from mental slavery which you have now. I need every one of you who think that your condition can be better. This is a field open to strong men and women to uplift the nation and take your place in the affairs of men. If the Europeans and other nations are helping me, why not you? If the Europeans and other nations are helping Prophet Noble Drew Ali, why aren't you?" Let's continue. "It is your problem. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can. The Negro problem is being solved only as it can. And that is by the Moorish National and Divine Movement. If you have a nation, you must have a free national name in order to be recognized by this nation as an American citizen. This is what was meant when it said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things would be added."
Good point that the Moor brought up. That you can see right there in the back, you see Noble Drew Ali, opposed to Cliff, who you got now, with the no tassel and all that, right? Cliff got Martin Luther King back there. Either somebody got cloned or they turned the agent. That's the only, and this is across the board. This is how you know who's who. This is how you know who's who. Because everybody forgets that there's receipts online. You can go back and show that something's up. You switched up. Switched up. Either that's a clone, which is on some next level, right? Either that's a clone, and then if they could clone him, then how many other people have they cloned out here to tell you that these are the people telling you something about whatever? Right? Of course the seller's gonna be calling right now. Of course they are. Of course the bots are gonna be calling right now. Of course. Right? Either somebody's a clone, android or whatever like that, got the injection, nanobots took over the brain or whatever it is. Whatever happened, right? People forget that online you got receipts. So now, are the people a dumbass because that's my book that he's promoting that we still have on Khalifa Media today? We didn't switch up. We didn't stop doing things different. Oh, so then that means Canaanland more is a standard then. A certain level of competent Moors. Well, don't forget over here, put your questions in all caps so that we could see your question and we don't have to search through the chat and then have you complaining that, well, you didn't answer that question and all that stuff because it wasn't in all caps. So you get passes for your first time, getting excited, want to ask questions, no problem. Bring your questions. Bring all your questions. Just put it in all caps so we could see it. So that way, if I don't see it, at least another more in the chat, they might see it and put you on some game. Right? See, and just as I'm talking about it, there goes a more right there, put you on game in the chat. Don't look at our chat like how you look at all these other people's chats. Because in our chat, there's actually Moors who study in our chat. There's actually Moors who right now they got books around them. Fact checking everything. Or you think GS is sharp or whatever? You think these Moors are playing games or whatever? Because this is some chat? Dude, this is not, our chat's not these other people's chat. So if you're in our chat, you better have a pen or whatever like that. You have to keep your eye on the chat. And then that's one part of the brain working or whatever like that. Then you got to keep your eye on what's putting on the screens because sometimes stuff might be up there. And then you got to keep an eye on what's being said. And then you got to keep an eye on the little voice telling you, hey, yo, what are you saying is actually true. You know what? Because I've been there before. And you're like, what? Why am I talking to myself? And you start tripping out or whatever. You're thinking that it's the weed, but it's really your consciousness raising and it gets crazy. But with regard to the tassel, look what the Moor said. Right? The tassel represents degrees of knowledge. No tassel, no degrees. It's that simple. It's that simple. So how does a Moor devolve? How does a Moor devolve? Either they're a clone or their agent. And now their job is cause confusion. Not being this Moor right here.
This Moor who we seen lecture with Taj Tariq Bey, Ramiel, and all that. Moors who killed Polite. Moor who killed Seti. Moor who killed Sa'anetter. Killed everybody, anybody who you're looking at now is like, oh yeah, those are the guys or whatever. No, they're not. These people been got destroyed by Moors. Been got destroyed by Moors. It's only your incompetence that's keeping them still being able to play this game. As we're not Moors. Or the Moors who are actually doing something that are active, or they're the renegade and they're the ones that you're not supposed to follow because they're not following Noble Drew Ali. But then you should follow these people who they took down the Quran to put up Martin Luther King and put on a fez with no tassel, which means they devolved, because we got receipt right here that he had degrees. We don't know how many degrees he had, but you got tassel, you got degrees. No tassel, no degrees. It's that simple. Right? We're not assuming stuff. We're showing you their play, so you can be able to pick them out anytime you see these jokers. All of them could be picked off. Easy. Because why? Because all you're going to see is people with swords through them. That's their own sword that they fell on. When you see the people walking up and they got swords in them, stuff in their back or whatever, and they're telling you, oh yeah, you know, I have the way to do this. People don't want to go this way because, you know what I mean? And I've been, and then they got all these stuff in their back, and you're thinking, yeah, it actually sounds good. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this guy because, you know, he's really being abused by his own brothers for doing certain actions. No, those are all his swords that he fell on. Now you keep going back to the guy who fell on their sword. Why are you going back to them for? What could they tell you? After he told you, go get my book, since you rep for him or whatever, you should probably go get my book then, right? If this is your boy. And if you believe that, you know, he's right and what he's saying is where it's at. Okay, let's ride with what he said here. Let's ride with this. Let's ride with this.
Added unto you. Noble Drew Ali, coming from nationality, the order of the day, divine message and warning. All Garveyites, Rastafarians, Black nationalists, and Pan-Africans. Peace again to Brother Kuju Awa El. Much love. And last but not least, we have the mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East. Divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali for the Moorish Science Temple of America. And this is also published by Khalifa Media. Please check it out. You can email them at khalifamedia@gmail.com. Once again, Khalifa, CALIFA, media, MEDIA, @gmail.com. And I'm going to be reading chapter 7. It's entitled, Again Elihu's Lessons, The Mysteries of Egypt. Again Elihu taught. He said, the Indian priest became corrupt. Brahm, B-R-A-H-M, was forgotten in the streets. The rights of men were trampled in the dust. And then a mighty master came, a Buddha of enlightenment, who turned away from the wealth and all the honors of the world.
That's Noble Drew Ali that they're talking about right there. You have to equate everything of the prophets to Noble Drew Ali. Right? They're telling you his story in ancient books. They always have this individual. Every culture, male or female, they have this individual who people look to and say, yeah, that's the one. That's how you have to look at Noble Drew Ali.
And found the silence in the graves and the caves, and he was blessed. He taught the gospel of higher life, and taught men how to honor man. He had no doctrine of the gods to teach, he just knew man. And so his creed was justice, love, and righteousness. I quote to you a few of many of the helpful words of which Buddha spoke. Hate is a cruel word. If man hates you, regard it not, and you can turn the hate of men to love and mercy and goodwill. Mercy is as large as all the heavens. And there is good enough for all. With good, destroy the bad.
Oh, and I don't dislike traders and sellouts. I hate them because they're the problem. And they don't want to kill themselves. So they're going to be out here playing games with the Moors' birthright, that we could have everything. That's why we put up the video from when all the Moors were near Delaware. Aleem, Raz, me, Taj, Miz, everywhere, Messiah, everybody there. Abundance Child, everybody was there. Right? Because it was just Moors getting together. There's no package selling and no none of that. And what Taj tell all these people? I went to the guy's office. And because of status, they gave me anything I wanted. So how come Grand Sheiks and all that stuff aren't doing it like that back then? And then when he did that and got all the buildings and got the buses and all that, all the stuff for the temple to have something, they lose all the papers and all that. So yeah, he's Grand Sheik. Yeah, he's Grand Sheik because he did more Grand Sheik work than any of these Grand Sheiks out here playing that they're Grand Sheiks, including myself. Right? And that was in his prime. That was in his prime. Taj that didn't matter if he got arrested or whatever. We're Moors. Doesn't matter. Kidnap me and? You think I'm going to stop saying I'm a Moor? Because you kidnapped me or something? And that's the 40 days and 40 nights. It's the trials and tribulations that you're going to go through if you step foot in this thing called Moorish nationality. Because your own made this messed up. Your own made it messed up. This stuff is supposed to be smooth sailing. You proclaim that you're a Moor, you go to the temple, secretary puts your name down, and then that's it. Then you go out, start being who you're supposed to be. And anywhere you go, the fact that you say you're a Moor, you're going to get anything you want. I think Moors starting businesses and all that stuff like that back then. How is it that you're talking about businesses and all this? That Moors had businesses. They know that that's a reality. Moors had businesses. That's a documented fact that there were businesses owned by Moors. Why do they have all those businesses? Oh, they stopped saying that they're Negro black colored. And anywhere they go, they say they're a Moor, they get anything that they want. Why? Because Moors are in control of everything. Why would a Moor be able to go in somewhere with a nationality card and get whatever they want unless there's a Moor that's running that? This is 1920 Chicago. While all the liquor BS is going on and the mob BS is going on, Drew Ali had his own lane. And what happened? What happened? He goes around to visit all the temples, and then he comes back to the temple, and his stuff is in the street. His stuff is thrown out of his own spot while he went around to check all the other temples. And people didn't sell you out. Well, they sold you out all right. And they even tell you to sell you out to the highest bidder. They just sold you out just because. Because what did dude get on Black Messiah? How much he get for selling out Fred Hampton and the Panthers? Well, he got millions. You can get jack. You got diddly squat. And sold out his own. Sold out his own having breakfast programs for children. Sold out his own for people who know that they have no chance in the court system, teaching them the Constitution. This Black Panthers are talking about. Teaching them the Constitution. Because all these people had law degrees and all that. And Panthers weren't dumb niggers running around with guns or whatever. These are highly intelligent young Moors. And going back to the theme, if Khalid found out, if Dr. Benton told him, if John Henry Clark told him, if Dr. York told him, if Chief Malik told him, if El Ruckins told him, and Black P. Stones told him, then please, everybody's eventually going to find out. Eventually everybody's going to find out about nationality. The issue is what you're going to do when you find out. You're going to keep playing Negro, Black, Colored? All right, no problem. Then that's what we get as a people. Simple equation. This is nothing far-fetched and hard to figure out.
We have the university section, and that has lectures from the elders Taj Tariq Bey, Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey, Grand Sheikh Kujo Awa El, Raz Mariah Bey, Hakeem Bey, and a brother named Rami Salam El. Heard he's pretty wise now and again. And in the more section, we also have the Morning Star newsletter section where you can read all of the newsletters that we've published. More info. If you want to contact us, you can do so through the box in the more info section, or you can just contact us directly at iamhhtemple@gmail.com, and as well as a link to the Moorish Oakland Star, which is an online newspaper. And that's it so far for the temple. In the future, we will definitely be having some items that you can donate some funds to and receive as a gift. We're planning on having actual lessons that we can conduct online and interact with people all around the world, and plenty more to come. But in short, I just want to give you a brief overview of the online temple website and humbly ask you to please visit, get some information, and build. That I say peace and love.
We're going to go to this book called
the Muqarabeen Files. And let me get this book was published, the Muqarabeen Files, the Grand Governor's Edition. The Moorish Movement in America, its inception, rise, and struggle in the American social system. A brief examination of the history, organizational structure, and national leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc. Author, shout out to Brother R. Edwards L., ASDM. Shout out to the co-author, Brother J. Barnesbay. The field researchers, Brother D. Eddington L., ASDM, and also Brother W.R. Edwards L., that's a field researcher, and lastly, the research consultant, Brother C. Hood Bay, ASDM. Got a special shout out. Thank you so much. Your work and your research is incredibly valuable and appreciated. Much love. Thank you. Now, let's get to the point. In this book.
Now, before we get to this point, right? Before we get to this point, on Facebook, when we were on there, before we got kicked off that, had a contact with Richard R. Edwards L., where they were mad that we were selling the book because it's copywritten of the whatever, so why do whatever? Now this is before their their 2-volume set BS. Right? This is in its organic form. Because they realized that they could make a killing off of the Muqarabeen Files. And again, talk to anybody who buys anything from our temple. Everything they buy goes back into the temple pot. There's no people getting paid to work at our temple. Grand Chiefs don't get a check and none of that. Assistant Grand Chiefs don't get checks. None of the secretaries get checks. No people in the school get checks. Everybody's doing volunteer work to keep this thing going. So don't think because we have a bookstore that people are driving around with butterfly doors because of the temple bookstore. Right? Don't get it messed up. Right? We're not taking any finance or anything like that. Everything goes right back to keep the temple running. That's what's supposed to happen. The temple's supposed to handle itself. It has the means to. Right? Once the people are supporting it. And Muqarabeen Files, people support it because it gives them a background of their temple. And maybe gave too much. Right? Maybe gave too much, which is why they did their volume set so they could play the editor guy and they could play the whoever that when, it was, when I first got it was Richard R. Edwards L. So you go to. Just like when they talked about Noble Drew Ali's tonics or whatever, you're going to McElrath Bay. You're not going to anybody else to get that. Because McElrath Bay, that's the distributor of Moorish Manufacturing Company. Right? And then you have temples holding it. And then I got to go through a more. I'm a Grand Sheik too, by the way. I'm a Grand Sheik, by the way. And I got to go through a more to get Drew Ali's tonics. Because if we go directly, Islam, Mo, we don't really like how you be and saying her in the prayer and have Moorish women wearing fezzes instead of turbans. You can't be doing that stuff and all that. No. You gotta go around the corner. You gotta go to the back door as a Grand Sheik. Remember, myself, Brother Yusuf, Brother Amazite, Brother Hassan, all these Moors were with us in Pittsburgh when we went to the temple there, and we had to look inside the mail slot to get them to come out after we're banging on the door. This is the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right? This is Moorish Science Temple of America. So when you see them talking all that ink stuff and all that, and you hear them talking all that ink, is the registered number for the sellouts, the Moorish Science Temple of America, who inked this, who inked everything, right? They didn't just ink that. They also inked handshakes, right? They also inked crescent and stars. How are they incorporating? How are they trademarking the universe? How? There's their registration number. How? Tell me about some Supreme Grand Council. F Supreme Grand Council. Because they haven't done jack either. The hell did they do? They've been playing their game. Right? They've been playing their game. Right? You see any ink? You see any ink there? No ink, right? No ink? No ink. No more Science Temple of America ink? No? Well, this is the office of what? Mealy, who was the next man in line after Noble Drew Ali. And this is just merely a year after Drew Ali. Right? A year after Drew Ali's murdered, listen how Mealy has to be talking to these Moors. Islam, Brother C. Kirkman Bey, this is to notify you that the above named organization, Moorish Science Temple of America, in convention September 15th to 20th, rescinded by voting out the mistake made by the second annual convention of 1929, and in doing so, you hold your membership roll as when our Prophet was here, and we hope you will still cooperate with the organization under the 5 principles. We hope further that you will comply with this notice and govern yourself accordingly, as there is but one Supreme Grand Advisor in the Moorish Science Temple of America, that being Noble Drew Ali, and any one else attempting to be from now on is assuming authority of himself and is liable to the penalties of the law. Peace. Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Drew Ali, founder, Mealy L. chairman, Foresters Hall, 44th and State Street, Chicago, Illinois. So if in 1930, Mealy L. wrote this letter talking about Kirkman Bey is a fraud and we took him out of office and all that stuff, then how is it that these Moors in 2022 are going to be on their website, talking about past leaders of the MSTA, past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators, and they don't even have Mealy up here? Because he's the one that told you that there is but one Supreme Grand Advisor in the Moorish Science Temple of America, that being Noble Drew Ali. So if he's telling you that the only Supreme Grand Advisor is Noble Drew Ali, and then they're talking about past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators, and they don't even mention Noble Drew Ali, and these are Moors? These are Moors that we're supposed to be going with? These are the Moors that we're supposed to be going with. Really? It's very interesting, the Moors that they want to say are the authority. These are the Moors that they're saying are the authority. These are the Moors that they're saying are the authority, right? Islam. Oh, the following letter is a letter sent from Brother E. Mealy L., Supreme Grand Sheikh of the MSTA, to Brother T. Crumby Bey. 536 West 12th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Dated 6/17/1931. 1931. Islam. My dear bro, I am agreeably surprised as well as glad to hear from you at this time. I have often wondered what had happened to you. Now, speaking of Dove L, you didn't give much understanding as to what this party was doing, or where he was operating, or who gave him his authority if he acts on the lines of Islam. So find out what this brother is teaching, his right to do so, and who did he receive it from. Right? That's the same stuff that we're going today. That if you didn't come through the order of the Moors Round Table, if you didn't come through Great Seal, if you didn't come through rvbaypublications.com, can't tell me about teaching anybody anything. If you didn't come through Obashango L and Asir, the Duke of Tears, if you didn't come through Washita with Alim Bey, if you didn't come through etymology and Moors and Masonry with Abdullah Talib Mozi Bey, who are you? If you didn't come through MHHS, Annie Edel, if you didn't come through even C. Freemanell, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. We're doing that same thing today. Find out from these brothers who they're out here telling you about, you know what I mean, they're going to teach you something and they got some package or whatever. Find out who gave them their authority. And where they got their authority from. And if they've told you that they got authority from this paper and that paper and they didn't get their authority from Allah, you already know that they're criminals. You already know that they're criminals. Now this whole trouble is this. When I was on my way around to visit the Prophet's temples in August 1929, not his temples, not Mealy Ill's temples, because he's the Supreme Grand Sheikh, when he went to check the Prophet's temples, what are all these other traders trying to do? Get their name on it, so they can have the fame and the popularity. When I was on my way around to visit the Prophet's temples in August 1929, Kirkman Bey was made Supreme Grand Advisor by a group of members secretly, and it was kept unbeknown to me, and was on till we were ready to transact our regular business in the convention. And then they sprang this trick of making Kirkman head of the organization, which is a direct violation of the Prophet's laws and the Holy Quran, according to chapter 10, verse 22. We, as heads of the Prophet's temples, fell asleep at that point by being confused over the passing of our prophet, which they knew would not be expecting any surprise, and that so they thought was the time for them to put him over. But I had stated in the outset, in advance of any official work, that in view of the passing of the prophet and the much confusion that was very rampant at that time, we wouldn't be able to do anything effective except choose a grand treasurer and a board of trustees, which the prophet said himself we should have. Anything else, I declared, would be unofficial, till the next regular meeting of the Supreme Grand Council. He, Kurtman Bey, was made advisor anyway. But I knew I had been given the power by the prophet in the first article of the Constitution to change anything that went wrong by the Holy Quran Constitution, which we did in the last convention. But he doesn't think so and decided against him, yet he is still acting against the will of the Holy Prophet Drew Ali. But can you expect he thinks he is perfect right to do what he is doing? Because so many of the governors and grand sheiks fell after the passing of the prophet, and most of them are with him now and against the prophet. They are fighting me because I won't stand for Kurtman Bey to act as Supreme Grand Advisor of the organization. They are doing all they can against me on his account, virtually destroying, if possible, the movement through malicious disobedience. Remember, this is Mealy talking to all these traitors, same ones who are around today telling you about ink and they copyrighted Moorish Science Temple and where's the Supreme Grand Council and all this, when all these people sold out the movement. 100+ years ago, they sold out the movement. They weren't in this for the nation. They were in this for their selfish self. Got whatever they got and went on to be millionaires for being a sellout. And then that became the pattern. Everybody being a sellout. Until people like Hakeem Bey and Taj and certain people. Even Sharif Bey at that time. All those Moors that were riding with this 100. Kenyu Bey, Daweed Ali El. All those Moors near Chicago. All those Moors in Mecca. Now some of who are with him are against the prophet. And I say against the prophet because when you fail to recognize the man the prophet appointed and give him your cooperation and support, you have virtually turned him down for someone else. And those I know of according to their ways and works and actions, Brother T. Osley, Milwaukee, Brother F. Nelson Bay, Detroit, Brother C. Charles Bay, Cleveland, Sister M. Cliff Bay, Indianapolis, Sister Dove L. Chicago, these don't write me when I write them because I won't accept Kurtman Bey in place of Drew Ali, and I never do. Well, the time is proving all true according to divine plans. He said, children, there won't be a few saved because you are not going to do what I tell you. You want your way, and your way you are going to have. But your way leads downward, children, so you better do like I tell you. If you do like I tell you, there is a chance for you. If not, there is nothing for you but death. They govern their actions by a majority, which is all right if the majority is right. On the other hand, if only the one is right, that one is the majority. That's Islam. But they want to run the Moorish Science Temple of America according to the principles of Christianity or politics. And that is, you may never be so wrong, but if the majority is with you, you are right anyway. But so in Islam, nothing but right will do. Well, that is why they fight me, simply because I won't accept Kurtman Bey as head of the organization. If I would do that, I would be all right with them. But Drew Ali said to me on his sickbed before he passed, You do what I tell you. Never mind what they say. I have given you law, Quran, and constitution, and I expect you to enforce my law and do what I say. Never mind what they say or do. They can do nothing but die. So you have the law as laid down by Noble Drew Ali, and you will be required to answer for yourself in that day, and to choose now who will you follow, whether it be Kurtman Bey or Noble Drew Ali, the divine prophet of our God Allah. And I am going to expect you at the next convention that you may forego things again amiss, because to follow anyone now except Drew Ali, you have no part with him. I hope I have made myself and my cause clear to you, and if not, write for further information. Peace. Edward Mealy L., Supreme Grand Sheikh, Noble Drew Ali founder. Telling me about some Supreme Grand Council. Yeah, right. Supreme Grand Council what? All these people sold out. All of them sold out. Right. When Moorish Science Temple adherents paraded down South Parkway or on Wabash off State Street, they filled the streets from side to side. Noble Drew Ali taught them of being black. That's a lie. Yeah, you know he told her that you're not Negro, black, or colored. Something they weren't Negroes, you are Moors. He thundered to sweating crowds at 3146 Indiana Avenue, rise up and take your heritage. He showed them how to open their own grocery stores, meat markets, laundries, shoe shine stands, barbershops, and restaurants, precisely the same thing Muhammad is doing today. They follow just as strict a moral code of no foul language, smoking, drinking, or frying their hair to make it curly. Mayor Anton J. Carmack, Consac, police that rode herd on the south side weren't diplomatic in their dealings with the guest masses of Negroes. A wrongly handled situation resulted in a number of white policemen being slain in a riotous clash with the Moors. At 45th and South Parkway, there weren't people to be fooled with. Today, Noble Drew Ali's corpse lay in the state mausoleum in Lincoln Cemetery. It can be viewed from windows from all sides, and it looks exactly as though he will keep his promise to rise up and walk with my people again. Sometime in the very near future, fez-wearing Moors, and there are many of them still to be seen around the city, keep a vigil at the cemetery to be on hand when Noble Drew Ali gets up from his death couch. Failure of such established Negro leadership organizations as the NAACP to get through to the Negro on the sidewalk was graphically demonstrated several weeks ago in New York. And that goes into talking about NAACP. Right? Now, what's interesting is, now this is interesting. Remember what we just read, right? Remember what we just read. As Noble Drew Ali's corpse lay in a stately mausoleum to Lincoln Cemetery, it can be viewed from windows from all sides, blah, blah, blah. All right? But then, you go to this letter right here. Lincoln Cemetery, 123rd Street and Kedzie Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. You could ask Brother Kush Day and Sundiata and all those more to verify if that's a real spot. All right? November 4th, 1988. Dr. Richard Edwards L. Mr. Edwards, after receiving your letter regarding Mr. Drew, I checked our records in order to answer your questions. I found that we do have a noble Drew Ali buried in Lincoln Cemetery, but we received him for burial on November 1st, 1945, and show his date of death as October 22nd, 1945. He was 40 years old when he died. I would advise you to address any further questions to Burr Oak Cemetery, as it looks like we're talking about two different noble Drew Alis. I will advise you to address any further questions to Burr Oak Cemetery, as it looks like we're talking about two different noble Drew Alis. And that's when R. Edwards L. 88, that's when he realized that he was with the traitors. Author's note. After the death of the beloved prophet Noble Drew Ali, several members of the prophets of the Moorish movement began to break up into small groups. As a result, today there exists more than 7 major factions, each claiming to be the movement founded by Noble Drew Ali in 1913. Right? So out of the 7 major factions, the only one was Mealy that stuck to being Supreme Grand Sheikh, never called himself reincarnated Noble Drew Ali or none of that. Right? Stuck to what Noble Drew Ali said. Everything that he said, Noble Drew Ali is the founder of this. I'm just following out the law that he gave me. And then Moorish chose to go with the traitors. And then that's why there's all this confusion right now with regard to the Moorish movement and the Moorish Science Temple, because of the 7 major factions that this broke up into, that broke up into 14, that broke up into 28, that broke up and kept breaking up until this is what you have today, all these little pieces of the Moorish movement scattered. Right? That's why the message is find Moors who are doing good and help them do more good. No matter what they call it at this point. If they call it Moorish Science Temple, great. And there's probably about 2 left as far as Moorish Science Temple. And that's us and Grand Sheikh Nature, who, when you go in the Muqarabeen files, right? You go in the Muqarabeen files. Remember, this is the updated version. This is the updated version. Right? Because remember, this was put out by the traders. The original calls them out. The original calls them out. Even though he was calling them out to their face. So now they have some new stuff. But like we're saying, they know who to attack. Right? They're always talking about Supreme Grand Advisors and Moderators, 3rd, 4th, and 5th and all that. Right? In fact, it was under his direction that the Thai Buddhist temple building was purchased and converted into the organization's new convention hall. In the case R. Love L. versus German Bay, an agreed order was handed down naming him the true president of the organization incorporated in the state of Illinois by Noble Drew Ali. In another case, Arlov L. versus Densmore Bay, he and those under his direction was given the exhaustive right to use the name Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc. That's not Moorish Science Temple with Noble Drew Ali. That's the stuff that they created. That's stuff that the sellouts of Noble Drew Ali created, claiming that Kirkman Bay is the authority, not E. Mealy. These court rulings were issued in 1978 and 1982, respectfully. In addition to these decrees, right, the corporate court is giving decrees now. This is what these Moors are going with. These Moors are going with the corporate court decrees. Isn't the court Christianity? Isn't the court Rome and all that? In addition to these decrees, Arlov L. was also able to obtain trademark protection, once granted to German Bay, on the symbols used by the Moorish movement. This is what Moors did. Trademarked your stuff. So you can't get it unless you go through them. And these were the traders of it. That's why the message is, find some Moors that are doing good and help them do more good. That's all you could do as far as a body of Moors doing something. There's no all these Moors across are coming together, because everybody's sold out. And everybody's been following sellouts, and people are going to follow their leaders. If their leader's a sellout, they're going to go with him regardless. You know what I mean? That's like when they say having an independent mind, not going with the herd. There's always one who not going with the herd. That one there is the Moor. Yeah. Brother Love L. also defeated Frank Lewis L. Bay in a legal dispute over L. Bay's claim to ownership of the Moorish movement. Nevertheless, after 31 years of service, he was succeeded by Brother Robert Jones Bay, new president and Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc. Of course, the years have seen a number of other Moorish factions not profiled here. Among them, Brother Nature L. Bay and his Great Seal, Moorish Science Temple of America. Brother Jerome Graham Bay and his federation, Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc. Brother James Clay L., a.k.a. Mishal Elohim Ali L., and his embryo, Moorish Science Temple of America, Inc., and a host of internet websites claiming to be some part of Degree Moorish Science. In any case, after more than 78 years of internal conflict, you can still pass a Moorish temple and hear the words of its founder, Noble Drew Ali, "Come all ye Asiatics of America and hear the truth about our nationality and birthrights." And that's the one thing that's common amongst, whether you're looking at traders, package selling Moors, whether you're looking at Moors who followed the Moors who got Noble Drew Ali out the way, whether it's the sell you cards Moors, whatever Moors it is. If we don't look at who their authority is, what line they come from, what Moors do they know, if we don't look at that and just look at, you could still pass a Moorish whatever, a Moorish food spot, a Moorish temple, a Moorish gym, a Moorish whatever. You're going to bump into all types of Moors. There's always going to be Moors. There's always going to be that talk of we're not Negro, black, colored. One thing that every Moor knows is their nationality and their birthrights, whether they're dirty, traitors, or otherwise, whether they're righteous, whether they're clean-hearted, or black-hearted. There's a common idea. But again, like I said, like funeral director guy told them, I think we're talking about two different Noble Drew Alis, because our records from Lincoln Cemetery, we don't know anything about 1929 and all that. We don't know anything about that. We're talking about two different people here. I couldn't even be alive in the same. So know that there's a game being played. They did it. They have the place confused. They have the place confused. And the best thing that you could do, is study, study, study. And don't look at this as some joining thing. Look at this as get yourself out of mental slavery thing. So you can start thinking for yourself. And thinking on the level of other people who are thinking on your vibration. Because everything else is your destruction. Everything else is your destruction. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all Moors worldwide. Or if you want to go check the Muqarabeen, you can get a Scribd. Get a Scribd account. Read free for 30 days on Scribd. And go read the Muqarabeen files. If you got a printer, just print that bad boy out. Don't worry about no copyright BS. These people are a fraud. Take that information and run with it. Noble Drew Ali is the only Supreme Grand Advisor. Noble Drew Ali is the only prophet. You know, reincarnated anything. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to all the mothers. Study, study, study. Islam, Moors. King Boom.
The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to Noble Drew Ali started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to Noble Drew Ali started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to Noble Drew Ali started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to Noble Drew Ali started dropping it. Dirty Moors still attempt to infiltrate the order. Active Moors are truth and take it to the corners. Across highways, past hedges and through borders. Move on dirty Moors like broken down waters. Watch out for agents and provocateurs trying to get next to their heads with the doctor's cures. They never pay dues and don't pay dues. Contradicting with King Alfred to give clues like news. Noble Drew Ali died from Palemore blues. Prophet saved him his money before the floor fell through, and that's true. Even though I don't have proof, selling memory tells me don't fall for spooks. Drop mental nukes, hanging from their own vine from the fig tree, looking up at them like Big B. No white flag or mercy for you fags. 5-point and pentagram is on our flag. Green, but not for cream. That dirty Moors took to throw off the balance of the Grand Treasury books. Getting offers like high school ballers. Those that infiltrate are not Moors but robbers. Robbing the people blind, deaf, dumb, and crippled. They can't tear this up, not one drop or trickle. No matter how hard they try to perpetrate the fraud, dirty Moors always fall on their sword.
The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it.
Me nah play with uno so simmer and easy. From 19 how long, me see it's sleazy. So sick it's measly and disgusting. Everyone stood there. The Moors did nothing when Drew was attacked. They took the covenant that they will protect him and have his back. They hand on dues by 4 months. Going to kangaroo courts to perform stunts. Temples versus temples. Lawsuits from inner fights. Not doing their job. 3,500 for birthright. Mufti Force left the post to be in Gucci stores with God. Thank Allah for the Sufi Moors and Buddhist Nagas. Moorish mic renaissance, not rap sagas. Confusion clearer. MC battle scar wearer. Moorish nationality declarer. Straighten out the crooked ways, rap conduct squarer.
The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it.
Let me strip them down, I'm the bone bearer. Negro, black, colored, minority, death preparer. Not the being, but the label attached. See me like Martin, going crazy, waving gats. Cause you call yourself black, that's a kick me sign on your life. Can't stab your enemy holding the blade of the knife. Numbskull MCs flow so dull that I'm pulling down Orishas like skull caps to torture the rapper, scissor sippers. Rapper, CD scratcher, insert ripper. Call me Jack and get slapped though. Admiral when I flow, major like macro. Don't spit on a cameraman like Pac will, but beat the case like Black Bill but no lawyer. Ask Jim Carrey, liars do nothing for you while they get rich and poor you. Make you follow magistrate orders that get the coke to snort from wood corners and blocks ghetto. All I see is rappers, dress codes, repedo. Tight shirts, skinny jeans looking like heavy metal bands. I'm not Bay but L like Gred and Hands. I grab mics, no sweat in hands. With birthright brands, I don't worry about getting scanned.
The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it. The problem is we started thinking like the colonists to know what you are. We started dropping it.
What up?
Here we go. Raka! North Star! That way. The North Star's that way. Canaanland moves. Read off we pay every day. Uplift the fee cause we all pays. We enforce the law and we obey. Forefathers from before is still today. Reading my Quran and my Torah. Universal laws in more ways. Read 4 chapters, receive it 4 ways. Great divine love rules our verse. Before I circle blocks, man, I circle sevens first. You bust the image, but your rhymes hurt. You clear 13, disrespecting earth. Love, but it's all in God's plan. Today's mathematics don't judge a man. Unity of life, embodiment of truth. I'm responsible for every deed, cause I seen the proof. No, but Drew X. Do I have to draw it out for you? Cause nationality is not a color I can use. Jerry Spruce, standing on my square, even without shoes. On the highest authority, spirit of blue. Marcus Coffee, whirlwind ×2. The world's in the wind when the trumpet blew.
Stand up, go into your bathroom. If you got a big floor to ceiling, cut the light on and stare and take a good hard look at yourself. You are the Moorish government, you know, and it took me a long time to get to understand that concept. I self-law am master. If I can govern myself, if I can govern my household. That's what I should be doing. Why should I walk out of my door and then leave everything that I know about myself in the house to go out and adopt something that I have no knowledge thereof? It makes no sense. So we need to stop asking that question. I ask myself this question: if not me, then who?
Death and wisdom, my friends, intelligent creatures, guardians of sacred knowledge, Olmec features, secrets of the afterlife, manifest the present day. Dirty Moors and scoundrels lose their heads in a pleasant way. Deceit and deception, negative past thoughts, keeps awareness on point. Spirit messages never off. Inner realizations, encounter the higher selves. Next plane existence explains my consistence. Without a foe, you never know, so past most resistant. Divinity, my twin flame, side chick and mistress, metaphysic, Kabbalistic, Almaroc mystic, patriarch, papistics, make my thoughts sadistic, so indigenous, call me Americanistic, invoking the ancestors, Saracen cryptic, suns on rotation, flows ecliptic, shatter all illusions, reveal the realistic, sitting in the dark, holding the light marvelous, recognize the artifice, skin so carbonous, hair so antenna, I feel them from Vienna, myriad of virtues, lessons, in reptilian henna, enlightenment seekers won't find it in mainstream. Focus as a laser, stay balanced like a beam. Not even a gymnast. Whenever I flip this, as above, so below. Get out when within this. Don't think I'm a slave, cause I speak in English. Drew, I'll leave the water, watch your flames get extinguished. Living in your higher, lower self is relinquished. Reputation of master teachers, call it distinguished.
Peace, Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Got a video sent to me. But before we do that, we'll deal with a question in the chat with regard to Afro being a term to use. So anytime you hear our people identified as something other than Moors, and they're making up all type of stuff to justify why our people should be called something other than Moors, more than likely they're some type of sellout or traitor, right? Because by this time, 2022. There's no meeting the people where they're at and all that stuff. Tell them the truth. Stop lying to them. Like, how hard is it just to tell the truth and just leave it at that? But they don't want to do that. They want to play these games with you, right? They want to play these games with you. So, we're Moors, right? Our hair, our antennas. Our hair, our antennas. Not hair, it's antennas. That's why we're the only ones that could pick up on the frequencies and build pyramids or whatever. You know, ain't nobody else building no pyramids around here. You need antennas for that. You need to be able to channel the divine in order to be a high priest, a high priestess, in order to be a sibyl, in order to be a warlock, witch doctor, whatever. You need antennas. Right? So the hair are antennas. Stop saying hair. It ain't hair. Animals have hair. We're not animals. We're sentient beings, and then you're talking about hair. We're hair. What sentient? What God have hair? Which God you know have hair? Allah has hair? Where? Where's Allah have hair at? Show me where Allah has hair at, and I'll trust that we have hair. If we're the gods of the whatever. I'll be the gods or whatever and we have hair. That's just like people talk about, yeah, virgins in heaven. What virgins are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stop talking BS. We're Moors. And hair is irrelevant. Hair has nothing to do with anything. Right? Hair's like skin. That's like talking about skin as if we need to talk about that. We talk about eyelashes, unless people got those fake ones looking like worms on their eyes or whatever. We talk about those. But we don't need to talk about eyelashes. We talk about fingernails and blood and the DNA and the BR75 number that makes you whatever. We don't talk about any of that BS. Who are your ancient foremothers and forefathers? What do they look like? If your ancient foremothers and forefathers look like modern, pale European people, if that's who your foremothers and forefathers were, then you're late. You just came yesterday. Go to your room, go in the crib and go play. Stop getting in grown people's affairs. That's the problem. That's the problem right now. And then if you're talking about hair, again, the only one who have hair are the air. Those vowels are interchangeable, right? And the interchangeable vowels, and people are going to use to justify other BS. How come they don't justify it with hair? Everybody has hair, right? Everybody who looks like us has hair. Okay, so if they have hair, that means they're air. And if they're air, doesn't that mean that there are more? So is there anything to talk about or debate or go into anything? No, there isn't. But people like to play games with you. And our people love getting games played on them. No, with regard to the hair, your concept is still just finding out about yourself. Everybody knows that the Asiatic hair is antennas. Everybody knows the Asiatic hair is copper, coiling. When you coil copper, what happens? If you coil, you're gonna blow up some dynamite, right? You're gonna blow up some dynamite, and then you're gonna light the wick, and then you're gonna stand back and watch what happens, right? If the wick is coiled, you're not getting away. If the wick is straight, you have time to get away when you light it. Because if it's coiled, the energy is going to travel faster. So the cosmic energies travel faster through us because of the coil, because we're the heirs. And the firstborn is the heir. And the firstborn are the Moors, the Canaanites, Moabites, Israelites, Amorites, Amalekites, Hittites, and anybody else that they want to mention and say that that's our people. Those are the firstborns. Everybody else is late. Right? So none of Asiatic hair or Moorish hair or whatever. Hair is not even the question. Hair is not even, just say antennas. If you're going into hair, then we can't talk about hair. We have to talk about antennas, and then we're going into some metaphysics and cosmic energy and all that. So save yourself the headache. Save yourself the headache. Right? Because that's all they want to do, cause confusion. Why would somebody put out there, like if somebody has braids, it's antennas. If they have horse hair on top of their head, it's antennas. Doesn't matter what they have. It's antennas. What type of energy are you calling with your antennas is, the next thing. And you can just go to Canaanland Moorish Truth About Your Hair. And, we got stuff where we going on hair already. So that it might seem like it's about that, identifying all the different parts to make up the whole thing. But once you say nationality, you're already identifying all the parts. You don't even say anything else. Nothing else has to come into question. Moorish nationality. You're talking about hair, the Moorish nationality. No, but I was talking about your hair. Yeah, I know, Moorish nationality. Because the hair is the heirs. And I'm an heir. We're standing right in front of you right now, letting you know that you're an heir. We talking about hair and all that stuff. Let's talk about this video that somebody sent me.
But the ones that are in dishonor of me, yeah, y'all can make pride work. So, to declare your nationality on the public record, you do that in writing. But it's a state of mind, right? It's a status. But you'll do it in writing. We have templates. One is a legal notice, name, declaration, correction, and proclamation. So you're not changing your name because name denotes property. You don't have a name, right? It's a status. But you'll do it in writing. We have templates. One is a legal notice, name, declaration, correction, and proclamation. So you're not changing your name because name denotes property. You don't have a name. You have a trade name, but that doesn't identify you. The name is short for slave name. When you hyphen L or bay to that slave name, it is, right? It's a status, but you'll do it in writing. We have templates. One is a legal notice, name, declaration, correction, and proclamation. So you're not.
Legal notice, name, declaration, correction, and publication. But this didn't come from enforcetheconstitution.org. This didn't come from enforcetheconstitution.org, Consul General Lamont Maurice L. and all that. The Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World. Moorish Divine National Movement of the World. Right? I am a free and sovereign Moorish American national, Northwest Amexem, Africa, America, all rights reserved. And your witnesses are the same as you. Vizier, Wazir, Grand Sheik, and all that stuff. You're that. You're the heir. Why are they just telling it to you like that? Why are they making up consulates and all that stuff to try to get you to do stuff that Moors have been put on the record for you for free to do for the past how much ever years? They even called it the exact same thing. They didn't even change the name. This is the Enforce the Constitution Moorish consulate people with Lamont Butler L. and all these people. You think because you're sitting with Taj and have pictures with Taj and he came out your car with the Moorish plates and the lights and the badges or whatever, that we're going to ride with you people? Taj told us don't follow him. So we're never going to be a follower of him and chasing him around to everything that he's joining because he's trying to say unity with the Moors. Look at me. I can talk with anybody, but they're not going to talk about the backdoor stuff that they're doing under his name, making a mockery of him. That Moors like us see, but we are, Taj the elder, so it ain't nothing, big deal. He already paid his dues. Ain't no big deal. We're just venting right now. that all our people love is traitors. And we've been venting for probably 10, 15 years. We've been venting. First off, we came out here, dirty Moors. Everybody's mad. Why are you only talking about that? Why are you talking about something else? What's your problem today? Why hasn't nothing happened in 10, 15 years for the Moors? Why? Because dirty Moors. Same stuff we've been telling people 15 years ago. You're still not hearing what we're saying. Dirty Moors are still coming in, still taking what Moors have had on the record for 20 plus years as the paperwork for Moors to use, calling it their own thing, making up a name of their own thing, but then they're going to call the paperwork that they're using in their thing that they made up the same thing that Moors have been using for 15 years, and convincing you that you got to be with them because, you know, Taj Tariq Bey is in the picture with them. And Taj Tariq Bey, it came out the car with them and the badges and the Moorish plates and the lights were flashing. And oh my gosh, that must mean that this is really the Moorish government for... How's the Moorish government when they could go to some guy in China and buy their badge? How is it? How is that they have a Moorish American consulate badge available on a website for anybody to go buy if they're a consulate? And then if it's like that, if anybody could have this badge, which would mean the authority, right? Just go look up challenge token and you see what they're talking about. And them having their badge that's made by some guy in China, who they let you know, right? They let you know, no, if you are ordering the MATD nationality life claim as a group, use only the same membership account. Each customer will reopen the same membership account when they select the desired product, blah, 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 make a payment. So, if you're a customer, what are you talking about? You're national and all this. What are you talking about consulate if you're a customer? How are you a customer to your consulate? Remember, this is out their own mouth. This is not what we say. This is out their own mouth. The same consulate people, these same people who are going to buy badges from a guy in China that sells badges. Right? Not just that though. They got t-shirts. They got signal blocking phone bags. They got knapsacks. They got helmets. This is the consulate. And then your mind is so warped that you think because you did something through them and then you got away with it means that that's legit. That just proves that it's the fraud. If the fraud is going to let it go, if the fraud is going to say, no license, no problem, go ahead. And they show them some consulate documents. Why wouldn't they let them go? They're a fraud too. Why wouldn't they let them go? Why would they tell you they have a process for nationality where you get some paperwork, but they're calling their paperwork the same thing that Moors have been calling paperwork they've been using for the past 25 years. Isn't that plagiarism? Isn't that stealing somebody else's stuff without giving them acknowledgement of where? They didn't even say, shout out to RV Bay Publications for putting this out there that we're using right now in the consulate thing to show you how government runs. They didn't even do that. They conveniently didn't tell you. Conveniently, they didn't tell you that they got their stuff from rvbaypublications.com. They didn't tell you. So if the stuff is on RVBaypublications.com, why don't you just go there? Oh, because they're the consulate people. Oh, yeah. Well, if they're the consulate people, that would make sense, because when the consulate people tried to play like they were the ones, and they had their meeting and everybody was on the stage and whatever like that, and they were showing that they're the consulate that's set up for the Moors and all that, they were telling people, stop going to RVBay Publications, bring all your stuff to us, because we're the guys now. We're the guys now. Man, pop-up Moors. Now this is the new consulate. This isn't the consulate from before with Shayla Moore and then the consulate before them. And then the consulate before them. You still don't realize that it's a game? The same stuff regurgitating over and over again. So 2019 by Moorish News WordPress, this is before. It's happened before. This is releasing it again because people seem to not get the point of what happened and what is going on. The Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs has always had a process of declaring your nationality and obtaining your nationality card. They've always had that process sitting there. Download your papers, send them in, they get sealed, they get witnessed, they get sent back to you with instructions. You read your instructions, do what you're supposed to do, and you go about your business, now being a free Moor. No badges, no certain color fez, none of that. Just go get these papers, download them, study them, witness them, send them in, they get sealed and or witnessed, and they get sent back to you with instructions. Right? Years later, here comes these people called Moorish American Consulate. That they're saying, we have the paperwork that you need. You can't get it from any other Moors. You have to get it from the Moorish American Consulate because this is where and all the authority of and all the BS. They presented some paperwork called Judicial Proclamation. The paperwork that they presented is the exact same paperwork. That Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs have been always given to Moors when they want to declare and proclaim their nationality. Which is why the new consulate people didn't say Judicial Proclamation. Because they're not going to tell you that the legal notice, name declaration, correction, and publication and the Judicial Proclamation go together. So I bet you when you go to them, you're going to get a document that says legal notice, name, correction, and publication, but it's going to be the full 7 pages, which includes the Judicial Proclamation and or they're just giving you the name correction notice and then calling that the paperwork, and this is just this one-page thing that Moors have been doing and using for quite a while. Right.
Changing your name because name denotes property. You don't have a name. You have a trade name, but that doesn't identify you. The name is short for slave name. When you hyphen L or Bay to that slave name, it is now a free and national name. But you yourself...
Now look at these traders now, right? Ain't nobody talking about hyphenated names before David Wynn Miller, right? These people are taking all types of BS, putting it into the Moorish paradigm, and selling you out. It's not the Hebrew brother, that's the Moorish consulate guy. That's the new consulate people. There's the new consulate people now, playing the same game that the old consulate people had, biting everything from Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, biting everything from them, all the studies, right? Biting it all from them. Taking every single thing that Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs been using for the past 15, 20 years, maybe more than that, and present it to you as their stuff that they created. Liars. When they're liars if they're doing that, because they could just send people to Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. And like we were saying, as soon as they start talking about hyphen Bay and hyphen L and all that BS, know that they got that from David Wynn Miller, who's a modern European colonist. And what Drew Ali say? Exactly, Moor. Putting Moors right back into slavery. And you think some slavery on some plantation. No, slavery of you not thinking and saving yourself. Right? Name means slave name. When name means namen, if you study. Right? And just check the chat. Moors in the chat know what's up. We aren't these Moors over here playing games with you. If you go listen to this stuff right here, you know what's crazy too? That you know people are dumb, right? Consul General Lamont Maurice L. speaks at the reopening of Keith Bay's Barbershop, 3/6/2022. You know what's crazy about this? 2 hours of this. 2 hours of this. And all I heard was Taj Tariq Bey in Lamont's body. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. All I heard was Taj Tariq Bey in a Lamont Maurice L's body. No, I had to watch it because somebody sent it to me. I wasn't going to watch it. But I said, let me watch it. Let me see what they're saying. And that's the first thing from the jump. If you're a student of Taj Tariq Bey, this Moor jacked Taj Tariq Bey's whole show. The whole show. He jacked Taj's whole stuff and just talking as if that's him talking. Every video that you ever saw of Taj, he jacked something from there. Everything. 80% of this thing is Taj talking. It's not him talking. People copying David Wynn Miller, telling you that that's how you're supposed to nationalize, hyphen L or Bay on your name. That's a lie. Find me hyphen Noble Drew Ali somewhere. Find me something. People are liars. And they're only lying to you because you let them. Because you're still chasing idols like a Christian. Not thinking for yourself, you're still chasing idols. Idol chasers.
Have an appellation. The first word in appellation is appeal. That means to call out. So when I appeal to you, who am I appealing to? An attribute. Right? It could be mother, it could be daughter, it could be sister, or whatever other attribute. Like,
remember, the idiots don't know that they can go on mattd.org.
Peace and paradise, nobles. Welcome to the Matt D Company. Here's a couple of products for you. We have the foam blocker, right? This is the Moorish Faraday bag. And the Moorish Faraday bag is good for blocking signals so no one can track you. Look at the quality. You see? It's top quality, and this is custom made with your Moorish flag on it. It's a wonderful product. And also, what comes with this, I actually have a combo packet. We have the Free More badge, right? Now, this is a long range identifier. You know how you want to keep people away from you and you don't want them to get near you? Well, if you have a badge on, they don't know what it is. They don't know what kind of badge it is, but it lets them know that you are somebody that's really special. So this is a great product, and the badges have so far, they've been selling very fast. And it's just one of those great products that we have. I have a feather on, so it's not easy to get down, but you can see how it can be worn, right? It can be worn around the neck, or with the Velcro, there's a little pocket right here inside that you can slip the chain in, like so. Put the chain in, and then you can close it just like that. And you can strap it and clip it right on your hip like that. All right? So that's what is needed. Another great product from the Matt D Company, the Free More badge, Moorish American Consulate, along with the Moorish Faraday phone signal blocker bag. Both together are sold for $129 notes, meaning $129. All right? Thank you for visiting the Moorish American Travel Document Company. Peace and paradise, nobles. Peace and...
No Islam? No Islam, though? Really? No Islam, though? These are the Moors who you're chasing after now. China badge Moors.
Sonia, you know what I mean? Which means something, right? But the name, you don't have a name that identifies you. The free and national name is the trade name that you do business with them on. Oh. That you do business with them on, right? Excuse me. So the free and national name is whatever the name in all cap is, you make it uppercase, lowercase, hyphen L or hyphen B. That's what you...
Right. Hyphen L or hyphen B? That's David Wynn Miller. Carrie Budoff Brown talked to Miller, who said he never met Loeffner but agreed with his statements on YouTube. Patak attended a Miller speech in 2003. My name is David Wynn Miller, the 53-year-old Milwaukeean said, and the brows of his audience of 50 began to furrow. This crowd of patriots is used to conspiracy theories, but even at an event dominated by anti-government ideology, Miller is tough going The reason I use full colon and a hyphen in my name, the first full colon, which is full colon David, it means for the David hyphen win. That's my given name. And it's also a noun because it uses a prepositional phrase. Because I use prepositional phrases through punctuation, which is classified as hieroglyphics, which makes me a life, L-I-F-E. Now, when you don't punctuate your name, David is an adjective, Win is an adjective, Miller is a pronoun. Two adjectives are a condition of modification, opinion, presumption, which modifies the pronoun. Pro means no, a noun. So therefore, I'm not a fact, I'm a fiction. You're a fiction. What's your nationality? Don't tell me BS about names that you got and punctuation. What's your nationality? Bet you're a modern European in land that's not your own land, making some claims as if we're supposed to take you serious. But some of these Moors take these people serious and then bring their BS into the Moorish movement. So now they're telling you hyphenate your L and your Bay onto the name, and then that's how you nationalize. Then you go hyphenate it, and then you just killed your whole nationality claim. Because where is it that you're going to go find indigenous people hyphenating Bay and L and Day and Al and Ali? And remember, keep in mind, this is 2003. Half these people were Negro black colored in 2003. They didn't even know jack about Moors. The hell they know about Moors in 2003? What they know about anything 2003? They were Negro black colored 2003. Bet you. Bet you they were Negro black colored 2003. We're playing games with y'all.
Declare, right? Or you can declare your appellation, which is considered to be holy and divine. But they're not supposed to, the subjects, these Slavs, which is where slave came from, we were never slave. These Slavs are not supposed to be able to call out to you because you're sovereign. Those who are subject to sin or subject to death can't use the holy name, right? Nevertheless, when doing business, your free and national name. So you would either fill out the legal notice and the judicial proclamation, but first and foremost, read it with the dictionary in its entirety so that you can know what you're signing. Or subject to death, can't use the holy name, right? Nevertheless, when doing business, you would do it in your free and national name. So you would either fill out the legal notice and the judicial proclamation, but first and foremost,
right? The legal notice and the judicial proclamation. That's not consulate stuff. That's Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs stuff that's been doing that stuff for at least 20, 25 years. At least 20, 25 years. They've been using name correction, judicial notice. So if somebody's already using that for the past 20 years, why are they going to make up some new Moorish consulate thing, but then using the same things from some people who've been doing the stuff before them that they're claiming that they're supposed to be doing? And how are the people not realizing that that's the causing confusion that Noble Drew Ali was telling these Moors not to violate in their constitution? Because there's only one way this is going to go. But people want to do their own thing. Right? Think they don't know that they're playing you to be part of their stuff? So you can get your little badge. You get your little badge that you could just go buy from these guys. Now, peep game.
Almost read it with the dictionary in its entirety so that you can know what you're signing. Or you can have us draft the documents for you. We offer recording services. This is on the web.
Why are they calling it services? If they're the consulate or whatever like that, if they're the consulate, aren't they supposed to be obligated to do certain things? Isn't it their duty as a consulate to do certain things? Why are they pushing it as a service? And then when you go get the service and then they tell you 200 or whatever like that, now you know why it's a service. Because remember, they're talking to you about judicial proclamation. They're talking to you about all this stuff or whatever like that. But then all you're seeing is charges for stuff. You got to pay for the badge. You got to pay for the this. You got to pay for the that. Why do you got to pay for all these things separately? Shouldn't they all just come together with it? Like, they should just come together with it. Why is all these separate things? So they could rape you.
Page, recording service, nationality and recording service. It's basically recording services. You go there, we have 3 services. The first service is we print, sign, and seal the documents for you, send it to you in the mail. You would sign it and then keep it. The second service is we do that.
So how is it that they're sending you documents signed and sealed before you sign it? Doesn't that mean a non-entity filled this out? Doesn't that mean nobody filled this out? If you get paperwork and it's sealed and signed already without your signature on it, what does that tell you about that paperwork? Let's analyze this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Right? Think about what these people are telling
you. We print, sign, and seal the documents for you, send it to you in the mail. You would sign it and then keep it. The second service is we do that. The first service as well, we recorded in Morocco Consul Court, which they had to recognize. That's why you see a lot of the documents that was issued by our consular court, and yes, we have a court, consular court, issued by our court and recorded into their venue. That means full faith and credit has to be given to our judgment or our orders in their jurisdiction.
So if it's their jurisdiction, right? So if in their jurisdiction you're recognized in their jurisdiction, wouldn't that mean that you're a fraud too? If the fraudulent jurisdiction recognizes you? Because, us being Moors been around before some Europeans came to here and saying that they're a government or whatever. So what do you mean them? Why are they always in the stuff as some recognition authority or something? Remember, these are consulate people. These are supposed to be the ones that are going to, save you. And they're putting you right back into slavery. Remember, this is them talking. This is not us talking. We're just analyzing what they're saying. Somebody sent me the video. You already know it's public record, so, if they're going to put this out there, we have a right to critique. I was questioning stuff before. I'm really questioning stuff now. Who the hell these people are, where they come from. Right? I'm really questioning the idiots that choose to chase after these people. As if they're the authority, when it's really your authority. They're just standing next to you and then they're claiming that it's their authority and selling you BS. When it's your own authority. It's your studying or whatever that has you going through what you're going through. positive or negative, however it goes. You know, some consulate. If there's such a court, how come they're not bringing up any of these Europeans on charges against Moors? If there's such a court, where's the suit papers? Where's the court clerk of the consulate that every Moor could go to and get how to file a suit against all these criminals and bring them to the consulate court so they could get deported? If you're a court like that. If you're a court like that, how come all these years not one European judge with all this criminal stuff that they're doing been found guilty in that court and sentenced to death for treason, for violating the Constitution? Well, nothing? All right. In court, all right.
When they say Fairfax, they're not talking about an area. They're talking about a jurisdiction. The land is not Fairfax. The land is not even Virginia. Right? So you would have it file stamped and digital file in our records as well. If you want a certified copy, we're certified as well. That is service number 2. Service number 3 is when we publish your documents, your nationalization documents on our website for 4 consecutive weeks. And then you'll get a receipt showing that it was published, just like you would if you was to run publication in the classified section of the Washington Post. Same thing. It's called public notice. Yep. So that's what we offer when you're declaring your nationality. We also have a contractor who issues national identification cards. So we have that service available as well. We're going to start that part of the service this week. So that's what we offer when you're declaring your nationality. We also have a contractor who issues national identification cards. So we have that service available as well. We're going to start that part of the service this week. So that's what we offer when you're declaring your nationality. We also have a contractor who issues national identification cards. So we have that service available as well. We're going to start that part of the service this week.
Now, this sounds really similar to the old consulate people who came out and said, we have the real process of how to proclaim your nationality, which in the minds of the people, if they see Taj Tariq Bey hanging out with this guy, even though he's not with him right now, and this guy is saying, well, you have to hyphenate the Bey, and then you have to get, the contractor for the nationality card through us because, we're the consulate and we have the badges and all that stuff. And people are going to think, hey, well, if I did this process before, but then they're saying hyphenate, and I never hyphenated, then that means then this doesn't work. I have to tear these papers up, and then I have to go. Why would they put people through that? Isn't that criminal? To put out information from the perspective that someone who already went through the process, already has their paperwork, already put them on notice, already or whatever like that. These Moorish consulate people now aren't telling people, hey, what you got works. You know what I mean? Keep doing that. They're trying to convince you they got some new stuff. And then all these people over here are going to think that their stuff doesn't work because they listen to Taj, and Taj is standing with this guy in a picture, and this guy said that you have to hyphenate the Bey and the L, and since I'm not hyphenated on my nationality card that I had for the past 10 years, then I have to cut that up and then go pay them to go get a new nationality card, when if you're a national, shouldn't they just take your old one and replace the new one for free? Why are you paying these people? Shouldn't, if their process is like that and they're the guys, shouldn't they be saying anybody with a nationality card, come on down, fill out our form, and you get your stuff for free because you're a national already. You ain't got to do anything new. You know what I mean? You just need to switch over to the real Moorish consulate because, you know, the people before, you know, they weren't the real ones. And don't be surprised if their contractor is the guy from China who they get the badges from. Like, don't be surprised when the nationality cards comes from the China badges Matt D guy. Instead of them just putting it out there like that. Oh yeah, we're also going to be working with the Matt D company in order to get the nationality cards. They ain't talk about that. They thought they are contractors and all this, that, and they have you thinking, oh my God, they have the contractors to make the nationality card? Oh, we're going to go with that. These people are criminals. All of them are criminals. Criminals. Right? They jack everybody's shit. Look.
No one left and right. You know what I mean? You don't want to, like, Taj Tariq Bey, who was Grand Sheik and my coach, he said, he always said, before you jump rope, learn how to not trip. Right? Or you can be tripping. Right? A lot of people get into this movement and they see benefit without the responsibility. So, word responsibility is a compound word. First word is response. Second word is ability.
No. Why did I just tell you? Go to rvbaypublications.com. Right? Go to rvbaypublications.com under the section Moore's Responsibility. Right? And then the breaking down of the compound word responsibility. Breaking it down for you. Breaking it down for you. rvbaypublications.com. Breaking it down for years for you. Here these people come. Here they come. Here they come telling you the same stuff that's been on that website for how much ever years, and they didn't even give honors to where they got it from. They're talking about Taj Tariq Bey or something.
Without the responsibility. So, word responsibility is a compound word. First word is response. Second word is ability. Turn it around. Ability to respond. You have to take responsibility in order to have the ability to respond. That's what that means. Then you get the benefit. So, no different than the laws of the jungle, because that's the supreme law of the land. Right? And that's order. That ain't chaos. If you cannot defend what's yours, guess what? It doesn't belong to you.
Don't defend what's going on. Going into stories about stuff and opposed to just telling you what it is. Tell you about the law of the jungle. The law of the jungle is order. You go out there and see if it's order. £500 anaconda fall out of a tree on you, and all you have to do is just get swallowed. I'm telling you about law of the jungle is fair. Stop the BS. Tell the people where you got the info. Tell people where you got the info from. Oh, well, Taj is your coach and all that stuff. And all you people know that all that information on RV Bay Publications is a compilation. There's other people who have literature up there. Many people wrote things that got put up on RVBA publications. Yeah, they hate the mothers. They hate the mothers. They never want to give the mothers their honors. They want to play this patriarchy stuff. Never. As soon as the mother starts doing some work, oh, here they come. She's doing something wrong. She can't do that. Why is she doing that? Playing you. Look.
By the corruption of your blood or the corruption of your word. And therefore the stranger comes and takes the estate and holds it in trust. It's called a deed of trust. Also called mortgage. First word in mortgage is what? Mort means what? Second word in mortgage is what? What is a gauge? A pledge. So
I just tell you, go to the mortgage myth section on RVBA publications. Why didn't I just tell you go to RVBA publications, the mortgage myth. Go to RVBA publications, the mortgage myth, and then read the report on mortgage rally article. Read that. And then after you read that, read the foreclosure writ. That's for free on the website. That you don't need any consulate or anything like that. All the stuff is done for you. All you got to do is change the corporation name. Everything's already done for you. Right? I'll just tell you where they got it. Why they playing with you? Why they playing with you? I'll just tell you where they got it. I'll just tell you where they got it. What was he just talking about? What was he just talking about? Written the nature of discovery. Please mail to the borrower. This is for when they play foreclosure on you. Remember, this is free. You just push the button and download this. Read it, study it as much as you can study it, and present your written document to these people. And of course, in your free national name with your free national mind. Right? What did they tell you? Remember, and this is from 2009. It's dated so you know how long they've been telling you this stuff. And then here these people come trying to convince you that go to their website and then you're going to get the real way to deal with the mortgage because it's a deed of trust and they're supposed to... They didn't tell you where they got that from? They got that from the free stuff on rvbaypublications.com. That they're not going to give them any shout outs. They're not going to put their website out there, but they're going to use everything off the website, have you think that they're a scholar. When they got everything from RVBA publications, they just sound good. Let these sound good people fool you. Please mail to the borrower the following certified and verified official copies of loan-related documents prior to the meeting and schedule of April 1st, 2009, for the borrower to make a physical inspection of the following documents and enable the borrower to verify and witness the same. This is a lawful demand and request under the rule of discovery and forwarded to Capital One Bank. Please provide the requested information in order that I may study all evidence regarding this matter within 10 to 20 days of the receipt of this notice of discovery. Produce the original promissory note associated with the loan from your agency. Produce any allonge bill of exchange or promissory note complete with all the affixations or allocations attached to the borrowing promissory note for endorsements. Produce all bookkeeping journal entries associated with the loan to the borrower. Produce the deed of trust associated with the loan to the borrower. Produce the insurance policy in place of the borrower's promissory note associated with the loan. Produce all call reports and related notes made for the period covering the loan. And it goes on and on. Right? And then you thank you, and then you sign witnesses and all that stuff, seal needed and all that stuff. That you're dealing with a private corporation. What they need What they need seals and all that stuff for? You need seals and all that stuff because you're doing it as X-relation. You're doing it in the name of the straw. You don't need to do any processes for that. That's concept. That's knowing what X-relation is. Knowing that the straw is not you. Doesn't matter what law of the sea and law of the admiralty and all that BS. That has nothing to do with anything. People who study just use that to fool you into thinking that this stuff is deep when this stuff is shallow. Why are you going off the 10-foot diving board when this stuff is shallow? Well, because I got to do the back flip and then the 5 flips forward and then touch the toes and then I have to do the extension. Yeah, but you're diving into 5 feet of water. Why are you going on the 10-foot thing? Well, because, I was watching Taj and then he was next to this guy who jumped off the thing and, his parachute opened, but he landed in the 5 feet of water. And then he said, that's the way that you got to do it without the parachute because you got the birthrights. And then he bought the badge. So that means with the badge, you're going to be able to fly and all this. And you're sitting there taking them serious. People played you. Played you. Played you. Consul, general, whatever.
This information, this knowledge, this truth, this light was brought back to these shores in 1913 by a man known, named Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Not someone that we're supposed to worship, because that's not what he taught. That was under animal husbandry training. Also called the Secret Treaty of Verona of 1822. Please look that up. Secret Treaty of Verona. And then you'll see why the pastors and the imams and the popes and the rabbis all have 501c3 tax agreement with Rome. Also called the Internal Revenue Services, Inc. And for those that want to see proof beyond reasonable doubt, the incorporation papers of the IRS and...
Forget incorporation papers of IRS. How about incorporation papers of 602 Vandiver Avenue? It's talking about House of Reawakening Minds and all that stuff when it's a church. Praise to the King Ministries. Isn't that the COINTELPRO people? Isn't that the same people who he said watch out for? The pastors and the whatever. Well, how come he's on the pastor stuff? Right? He's on the pastor stuff with the badges from the China guy telling you about nationality and Noble Drew Ali and you're taking them serious. How are you taking them serious? How are you taking them serious? But the people who they stole all their stuff from, Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, Moorish Divine National Movement, and RVBaypublications.com. They stole all their stuff from them and parading it to you as if they got some new stuff for you. When all they should have did was get down with the Moors who are already doing good work and help them do more good work. But no, they don't want to do that. People want to be the man. People want to be the man. But they'll never tell you about Praise to the King Ministries though. 602 Vandiver Avenue. The address sound familiar? Address doesn't sound familiar? No, you ever wonder why there's always Negroes up there teaching you stuff? There's always no fez, no turban people. But they're Moors though. Please. People playing you and you love it. They're playing you and you love it. You love it on your own then. You love it on your own. We just wanted to put that out there. Because we got the video sent. We got the video sent of the office of the Consul General telling people to hyphenate and all that stuff and do paperwork with them and all that. And we got to address that. Moore's been doing this. We'll be fooled by these pop-up people. Some of you badges, badge holders and all that stuff. You think this is some consulate thing? If anybody could get the badge, stop this. If anybody could order the badge, how is it legit? If anybody could go and get a detective badge, how are you taking detective serious? Stop the nonsense. Playing your own people, causing confusion. For what? Just because? Oh yeah, speaking about causing confusion, you might as well put this out there too. Might as well get this out there too. All these people freaking sold you out. All of them. All of them sold you out.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and all this type of shit. Okay, but what if they got? I don't even care. Right. This is what I be saying. Right. Niggas be all in my business, but we ain't doing it right. So what you over here giving a book report for, bro? This is what I be saying to you be your way, to me be mine. Right. That's what they want to do, man. Yeah, poor child, that's our body politic. That's what you want. All right. This is what I've been wanting to show y'all.
Now you just heard that he admitted that the Porta de Chicago is his site. He admitted that, right? He was like, yeah, the Porta de, that's our body politic. That's what he said, right? But when you go on Porta de Chicago, they have a course registration correcting your commercial status. And in the agreement, you are to send them 250 notes. Allodial compensation. The allodial compensation required to complete registration is 250 notes. And this is on portadaychicago.org. And this Moore just said,
my business, but we ain't doing it right. So what you over here giving a book report for, bro? This is what I be saying to you be your way, to me be mine.
Listen.
Right. That's what they want to do, man. Yeah, poor child, that's our body politic.
You heard him, right?
This is what I've been wanting to.
So he's selling correction status for 250 notes. And he's saying it's a body politic, but he's running it saying that everybody else is selling packages. And then he speak about Taj, you know what I'm saying? But he's selling correction status for 250 notes. The same thing that he's telling everybody, saying that everybody else is doing. Like, it's a wrap for you, brother. Like, I don't even want to see you on videos no more. Like, I don't make videos no more, but man, you making t-shirts with Taj on it and just disrespecting Morris that's been in this for over 10 years, you know what I'm saying? And then I found your earlier videos, and you're talking about the Zodiac Constitution is for nature's law, and anyone who goes against it is going against nature. But now you say the Zodiac is garbage. Bottom line, man, that don't matter no more. You're selling packages, 250 notes. It's over for you, man. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. And that's Latif Bey too. People don't like him. I think Europeans Bey. Please, he did more work than half these traders out here. Honors to Latif. Honors to the Muslim son. And all the other Muslim sons out there. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. They want that. They want that finance. They're chasing it. They're chasing. They don't want to do anything righteous. They want to rob their people. They don't want to do anything righteous. They just want to rob their people. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. Supreme honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And stop falling for these games. People, Drew Ali told you, think and save yourself. He didn't tell you go join Consul. He didn't tell you go follow Taj. He didn't tell you do any of that. So you think and save yourself. Peace and love to all the Moors. Peace and love to all the Moors. Oh, don't be irritated. That's just what it is. You know? That's what it is. Because people let the the traders chill and hang out and be friends with them and take pictures with them and whatever like that. Now we're complaining. Don't complain. You know? This is what we caused. This is what we caused. I mean, we caused this. We caused this, playing games with the birthright. This stuff is real simple. Just study and you figure this stuff out. Nah, you want to be chasing this guy, go to this guy's conference, go to this guy's show, go to this guy's everything. And then they put you in states of confusion. You can't even get yourself out of after. Because they played you. They played you. Just make sure you burn the right Moors. Don't burn the Moors up who've been putting this work in. Burn the traders up. You know, burn the traders up. Don't burn the good Moors. Don't burn the Moors who've been doing work. Don't burn the Moors who've been sacrificing life and limb so that you could be able to exercise some rights. Getting kidnapped and all that. Don't be against those ones. Don't fight those ones. Support those ones. Fight the ones who are the traders, who have fake badges from China. Fight them. Fight the people who got passports from China selling to Moorish Americans, telling them that they're American Moors in the passport, which is denationalization, because you're not a continent. Why would you be an American Moor? It's not a play. Right. Yeah. And guess why he's sitting in there? Because of sellouts who said that they're domestic terrorists and nobody said anything to them except Canaanland Moors. Everybody's playing friends with these people. And then these same consulate people who say they called a highwayman an officer so they can't help them. When they're supposed to be the authority? If they're the authority, how come they didn't step in with their consular court? How come one of their whoever's didn't file up a suit and sue these people for $50 billion or whatever like that to make them be released? If you're the authority like that. If you're the authority like that. If Moorish American Consulate is the authority like that. If that's the vizier and all that stuff. You tell me the vizier can't go up to the office of whoever and get them released? Please. People know they can't. People know that they can't. And they know that the people want something. So they're going to have their little, you know, corporate wins or whatever, you know, because they got some mortgage discharged or whatever, right? Because they got some stuff discharged that, oh yeah, they're the authority for Moors to do whatever, but then when Moors get into stuff, they ain't doing anything with their authority. They're sitting around playing games. Moors have to file their own suits or whatever, and then you know, because of the same thing, the sellout. You know, people are not gonna hear no suits. Why would they hear suits? You know what I mean? You're going to sue their boy, and they're going to say, oh yeah, sign the paper. Why would they? That's their boy. You know? They're going to look after their own. Right? Yep. Because people keep playing games like they're some government. If the people are the government, then why you need a consulate? If it's we the people, govern, and the people who have the titles are supposed to be working for you, then what do you need them for? Why don't you just do what you're supposed to do for yourself? Oh, because because you turned just like them, right? You wanted a master. You wanted a master guy and the office guy to do some stuff for you, and you're going to file these papers because I'm the sovereign of the whatever. You're doing the same stuff you're complaining that they're doing to you. Dummy. You big dummy. You didn't learn to love instead of hate yet. Still trying to play superior position. Right? And it ain't about no protesting or marching and picketing up and down the place either. It's about why are they even touching people? Why are they even stopping people? It's not about what people are doing. You don't care what people are doing. Why are these criminals saying they have the right, because they got some lights and whatever like that, to stop you and ask you questions about some stuff that you don't even need to be stopped for? What are they stopping you for? They're not serving, protecting anybody. They're criminals. These people are criminals. Stop expecting some righteousness from them. They're criminals. That's what they do. We're righteous. So what are we going to do? Oh yeah, well, half of us, 3/4 of us, 90% of us are Negro, black, colored. We could care less about anything having to do with our liberation. Which then goes back to the numbers thing, because, we can talk all that nationality stuff, but, it's one of you. You're not really gonna, yeah, we recognize it or whatever, but you're not taking you serious. You're just one guy. No, but why, again, going back to the same thing, these colonists know what's up. Right? The colonists know what's up. Waited till she was alone, watched her for weeks, waited till she was alone, then came kick the door in. Because they're criminal. Forget this Article 4, Section 4 BS. People are criminals. You're not about no constitution or anything like that. They're all about their statutes, their codes, and their acts, their policy. That's all they're about. You should have been known that. If you were on RVBaypublications.com, you would have been known that. You would have been known that, all their policies and whatever like that are not law. So why what do you mean United States codes? Why are you using that? What's that? I thought we have nothing to do. I thought United States is a corporation. Well, Title 18 and then the color of law in it. Yeah, but that says United States Code, right? United States. Is that government or something? Or am I missing something? Sue them under Title 18. Well, Title 18, that's the U.S. Code. Oh, I know you're talking about before that, but you can't talk before if people are kidnapped right now. Before is irrelevant. Let's talk about from kidnap moving forward. Before is nothing. It's not waste time. Honors to all the Moors. Free all the political prisoner Moors. Just put that energy out there. They'll be home soon. Stay strong. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Keep studying. Keep getting this word out. Uplifting fallen humanity. Uplifting fallen humanity. Peace and love to all the Moors. Free the Moorish militia. Honors to all Moors worldwide. Islam.